EA Sports UFC 4 is scheduled for release on August 14th, 2020, and news of new fight arenas like the Backyard and the strange Mortal Kombat-esque dojo thing have sent loyal MMA fans into a quiet state of zen-like readiness. It's not that they're not cool, both of those arenas look really cool, but as far as new features go, I can't imagine people lining up around the block for the chance to play the new Backyard mode in UFC 4. Of course, we don't know that there's nothing new coming. We don't really know anything about UFC 4 yet. So with the UFC 4 beta out for testing and the official release date about a month away, we felt this is the perfect time for a little bit of a wishlist video. This is only a top 5, so if we miss anything, please feel free to shout it out in the comment section below. I'm Matthew Editor, we're Operation Sports, and these are the top 5 features we need in UFC 4. Number 5. Historical Fighters and Arenas. NBA 2K20 My Team mode has all kinds of different legendary players, legendary courts, jerseys, and the ABA ball. WWE games have dozens of vintage arenas and wrestlers, including representation from WCW, ECW, even the AWA. UFC already owns all the rights to Pride, Strikeforce, and the WEC. It's not going to cost any money to use them in the game. Bring them back! You know, I hate to say this out loud and put it on record, but I'll admit it. I would pay actual money for Strikeforce or Pride DLC in a UFC game. I'm at that point. Give us a few fighters, a ring, Pride rules, and the ability to tie into number 3 on this list, and heck, I'd pay real money for it. The Backyard and the Def Jam-esque dojo thing are a good start, but why not continue to pay homage to some of the greats in MMA history? Number 4. More created fighter options and fighter share. This is a very simple one, but we need roster sharing on these games. It's a staple of every sports game on the market except NHL for some reason, and it's 2020. If we can't download an entire roster of real and or fictional fighters painstakingly made by fight nerds everywhere, what are we even doing with our lives? Number 3. Franchise/universe mode. Most sports games have some semblance of a career mode and a franchise mode, but UFC games really only have the former. Many fans have called out for a UFC franchise or universe mode where players could potentially place or draft fighters into different organizations and control either a single fighter, a camp of fighters, or even play out every fight in a constantly developing mixed martial arts world. WWE games have had universe mode for years, and even a straight up copy of that would be a fun addition to the UFC franchise. But I think with the depth of the MMA world and the different organizations with special rule sets such as Submission Underground, not to mention the increasing crossover between boxing and MMA, a true fleshed out MMA universe mode could be really rewarding for fans of combat sports. Number 2. Career Mode Overhaul. UFC 3's career mode was pretty bad. It felt completely predetermined and scripted, as though there were only 1 or 2 possible outcomes depending on if you beat your rival or not. Well, basically what happened was you fought a bunch of cans of tomato paste, and then you fought a tough fight against your rival, and if you won that fight, you fought slightly better cans of tomato paste until another fight versus a possibly new rival. You just did that again and again and again until the game stopped being fun. There were some nice ideas in career mode, but it really felt like something out of last gen. So what could be done to improve this mode? Well, for starters, the ability to refuse fights for whatever reason would help a lot. You should be able to postpone fights because you want to heal up, or just straight up refuse to fight someone because they are bigger and scarier than you. You should be able to move up and down weight classes as you desire, call out different fighters after big performances like in the real UFC, and you should be able to spend more time in the minor leagues. In fact, if you wanted to, you should be able to spend your entire career in the minor leagues. Not sure why you'd want to, but hey. To me, the biggest change that UFC 4's career needs for realism is to have older fighters retire and new fighters come into the game, or at the very least, have older fighters get worse and younger fighters improve. For example, in UFC 3, it was possible to fight, say, a 42-year-old Conor McGregor in the year 2030, only he would look and move exactly the way he does now. That's stupid. That shouldn't be. It would be amazing to visually see the fighter's age, maybe by going gray or going bald or something, etc. That's probably a bridge too far. Maybe that's a PS5 idea. But at the very least, fighters in career mode should get better and worse with age, the way that athletes get better and worse with age in every other sports game on the market and in real life. Number 1. Flash KOs and TKOs. The single biggest problem with EA UFC games, in my opinion, is that fights all look and feel the same. There are no flash KOs, knockouts take forever to occur, ground and pounds and TKOs also take forever to engage. There are no standing TKOs ever at all in any fight, and the announcers say that fights can be stopped by the doctor, but I've personally never seen it happen. Every single fight on these UFC games play out like Jose Aldo versus Peter Yan from UFC 251 a couple nights ago, where the referee just lets one fighter pound on the other for 45 consecutive strikes before finally stopping the fight. If your fighter takes a lot of damage in a short time without defending themselves, the fight should end. If your fighter's on the ground, the ref should jump in before his lights are totally out and you're pounding a lifeless cube steak. I thought that Operation Sports Forum user Kingslayer04 said it really well in the UFC 4 Wishlist thread when he said, "Knowing that I'll have to knock a guy down or stun him 10 times kills my desire to play almost entirely. Just the knowledge that hurting your opponent barely has any consequences is annoying. The next game needs dynamic, temporary, or permanent stat drops during a fight that reflect the damage done, that prevent the guy from coming forward like they used to before getting hurt." That makes total sense. At least give us a slider where we can turn up ref stoppages. And we really need flash KOs back in our MMA games. They happen in mixed martial arts. Ask Ben Askren. That's going to do it for us today at Operation Sports, but if you want to weigh in about UFC 4, give us a shout at Operation Sports forums or right here in the comments section. YouTube comments are where the best conversations happen. My name is Matthew Editor. Thank you for watching and listening, and stay safe out there this summer, everybody.